a newsprint's has no archival quality to it. It's not an acid-free paper, which I think this is. And the acid-free information is important because a paper that is not acid-free will deteriorate drastically over a relatively short amount of time. Example being, I had a lovely, lovely girlfriend for a few minutes in college. A long relationship was like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Some of you know, some of you are luckier. And she had done this really beautiful drawing of herself, a little unclothed, on a piece of newsprint. And she gave me the drawing, and I cherished it because it was a beautiful drawing, and I still have it. It is a prized piece of art to me, actually. Because when you give me a piece of art, it's your art. My art, well, I just do that crap. I don't care about my stuff, but other people's work I like. It's special. I look at my stuff, and I know I could do more with it. I could do better, something like that. But your art is yours. It's special. That's something to be prized. In any event, this newsprint piece that I've got, it's mounted so it didn't fall completely apart, because it would break apart in a short amount of time, is about the color of your sweatshirt now. It was almost this color initially. It was the color of newsprint paper, which is that right there. But if you've ever found old newspapers in your attic that were protecting things, you realize how yellow that paper goes. And so it's not a good archival quality. So better work, if you're going to do this kind of work, it ought to be done on a little bit better acid-free paper, because it'll last and hold up over time. And so that's a good idea. And I normally just go to the store and buy a page or two of paper or something like that. I was going to, because time-wise. I've got a show coming up, and I have portraits. Oops. And I was almost thinking to myself, I wanted to do some life drawing pieces to stick in the show just as filler with my models that are going to be here over the quarter. And I was going to go to Hobby Lobby or something like that and see if I can get a nice, like, 120-pound paper, archival quality pad or something like that, so that when I have an opportunity to do a really good drawing, I'll be doing it at least on a better paper than this. If you open your pads up and you look at the black front page of it, by the way, you know this already because you're in graphic design. The paper itself, on the cover of it, it has a lot of information. It's the size, etc., how many pages are on it and everything. But right here is a number. It says 65-pound paper. Okay? And the way paper is sold is it's sold by the ream, and a ream of paper is 1,000 pages of paper. The ream itself is like 30 by 40 inches. Okay? Because what I have here really is 1/4 of that ream, and they cut it into quarters with a machine, a big guillotine that cuts it. And that ream of paper, those 1,000 sheets of paper, 30 by 40 inches, put on a scale, weighs 65 pounds. That's where that number comes from. And so like 120-pound paper or 180-pound paper means that same 1,000 pages, once again, if you put those same 1,000 pages on a scale, it weighs 130 pounds or 140 pounds. Thus, the difference is the paper has to be thicker and stronger and sturdier. And so good quality work normally happens on better, thicker, stronger, sturdier material. And so if I'm doing good work, which is my thoughts are these, by the way, you're in design classes, in color class and stuff like this for observational drawing. And a lot of that stuff is good work. Congratulations, because Alessio struggled in that class, I know. Or actually, I took a piece or two of his, and I said, I want to keep this for my teacher's portfolio, because he did good work for me. A lot of those pieces aren't necessarily going in your final portfolio, and I know that. Okay. Not really. Someone, like, they graduated 2 quarters ago, actually wanted to put her color wheel in the portfolio. I worked hard on that. No. It's a color wheel, come on. But these pieces, I would expect you'd want to put in your portfolio. This is your chance to actually do something real now, not something to get a grade, to make the design class happy and the color class happy or whatever. These pieces I expect you are going to work your butt off on and have something nice when it's done. I mean, that's just the way it is. I believe in the portfolio. It's the only, I said it a bit ago, I lost my diploma from the other school, very, very prestigious school, but if the paper's gone, I don't know what happens to it. No one has ever seen it. No one ever asked to see my diploma. No one ever asked me what I got in anatomy class. Actually, I never took it. No one ever asked me to see my grades. My mom cared. You know, but that's it. Nobody ever cared. The diploma, well, it means that you struggled and suffered and got through it. That doesn't mean anything. The portfolio does. What you got, what you did. I mean, not what you got for a grade, what you did. The work is what talks. And that's only going to let you do one thing. The diploma, by the way, the degree lets you apply for a job. Okay? Because there's so many places they won't talk to you unless you have a degree. It allows you to apply, to fill out the paperwork. Okay? The portfolio will get you the job. What you show, how you present yourself. That's going to get you a job. Okay? And then every day after that, you've got to prove that you deserve it. You've got to do the job then. Which ideally, if you struggle, you suffer, you do all this crap here, doing that's going to be easy, which is true to me. I've gone to work in many studios. A lot of times I'm just working on cruise control. They're not even asking me to do anything hard. They just need someone to do something that's, acceptable or good or whatever. Actually, C average sometimes. All of the design stuff tends to be something more important. I did these drawings with a variety of these pencils, which are just technical drawing pencils, and they're nice because they leads are different weights and scales. You've done this before. The B quality leads are softer, the H quality leads are harder. And so the really subtle gray tones in some of these areas were probably done with an HB or a 2H lead, but I almost would like to probably say more likely just an HB. The darker areas were with like a 2B lead in those areas. So I had a little variety. I have them in 2 colors or 3 colors, by the way. This blue is more common, but they're red and they're blue and they're green. There's a couple of these things, so that you can pick up which grade. And regular pencils work too. That thing there was done with Create a Color material, and they were regular wooden sharpening pencils, but there was a black charcoal one and a white one that I used to do that. And as I said, the medium is up to you. Catherine, you mentioned that before. Like, is it only pencil? I mean, you just pick which works best for you. It's your portfolio. I like to do ink because it's got real graphic quality and power. I can use pure black. Fine. It's putting your best, 10.5 forward or something like that. That's the important thing, is putting your best foot forward. Figure out what works for you. You have a question?
What about the font?
The fonts, well, of course, all of our computers have all kinds of fonts, okay? And my suggestion on the lettering that you put in these things, and what I did here, is they make, as I said, they make all kinds of cool looking fonts, and you graphics people, you know this for sure. There's beautiful scripts, nice things like that. Well, to be honest with you, if you're gonna draw, I want you to do the lettering on the paper. It's a graphics problem as well. And me, as a calligrapher, as someone that actually has done lettering before, it's also a kind of relaxing problem to deal with on occasion. But I also pick fonts normally that have a lot of straight lines. Nice, scripty, swirly, beautiful things are really great, but they're harder to draw. They're curves, things like that. And in honesty, probably the hardest letter